With my YouTube channel, I've been trying to figure out what type of videos I want to make specifically, and the one thing I just keep going back to are DVDs and movies because I am obsessed with those things. So here I am again talking about movies. I'm specifically trying to talk about movies that I have on DVD because I just want to brag and show you what DVDs that I have. So you already read the title, but this video is just going to be showing some horror movies that I like with strong female leads. When it comes to horror movies, there's a lot of them that have female leads, but a lot of times the female is like being murdered and like chased after and stuff. These movies are a little bit different. When I say strong female leads, I mean like boss bitches, or not necessarily boss bitches, but just like non-stereotypical strong female leads. The first movie is the movie May. When I first saw this movie, I was obsessed to say the least. It immediately became one of my favorite movies of all time because I liked it so much. Pretty much it just follows this girl named May, the main character. She is a very awkward and quirky, weird girl, and she's struggling to make human connections with other people. After watching her struggle to make these connections multiple times, she eventually turns to murder. So yeah, that's pretty much the premise of this movie. This cover art is horrible, but the movie itself is actually really good. This was, I think, like a 2002 film. I don't hear people talk about this that often, but it's actually a pretty damn good movie. If you like horror movies, if you like females, strong female leads, you'll like them. I like the actress in this. I just like the movie. If you like weird movies, you'll probably like it. Okay, next movie. We're gonna get through this. The next movie is American Mary, which I love this movie. This movie does contain SA, so if that's something that would trigger you, I wouldn't recommend watching. But I really like Mary in this film. She's kind of intense. I don't know, I can't think of a good word to describe her. The premise of this film is that Mary wants to go to medical school. Something bad ends up happening to her, so she drops out of medical school and decides to start her own like body modification business, which comes off as very illegal. But she does very extreme body modifications, so she's not doing just like tattoos or piercings or stuff like that. She's doing like very extreme things, but I really like this movie. If you really like body horror, you'll like this. This movie and May, I feel like, I don't know how to describe it, but they give off very similar vibes. If you like this movie, you'll probably like this. If you like this movie, you'll probably like this. I'm trying really hard not to spoil the movies because I genuinely want you to watch them. So I'm trying not to spoil them, but yeah, I love the actress that's in this film. I love the character of Mary. Like I said, I can't really describe her. I guess I'll just say she's very intense and she comes off as really strong, like a little scary, but I really like her. The next film, you probably can't tell what it is. The next film is You're Next. Arguably, this isn't really that much of a horror movie, but I don't care. I'm adding it anyways. Most of the time, people consider it a horror movie. To be honest, if you don't like horror movies, you'll probably like You're Next because it's more action, like thriller than anything else. Pretty much, it's about this girl. She goes to her boyfriend's parents' house and she goes to have dinner with them and everything. Turns out there's people outside the house that are like trying to like kill them, and they're trying to like shoot bow and arrows through the windows and stuff, and everyone's scared. They don't know what's going on. They don't know who's trying to hurt them. They don't know why. They're just scared. As the movie goes on, it shows you like who's doing what and why they're doing it and everything. So we figure it out as an audience. But I really liked her character. She was so badass. Like she's just like, she grew up, I think, on like a military base or something like that. So, or like an apocalypse thing, I forgot. But she's so badass. Think about Beatrice from Kill Bill, except less murderous, and that's, the girl from You're Next. She's just really cool, and like, I don't know, I like her. I wish I was as cool as her. I like You're Next. I think it's pretty funny. It's mostly action. If you like Hush or like any of those other type of like intruder movies, you'll probably like You're Next. It's not like as horror as the other films, but I really like it anyways. It's necessary for me to add it to the list, so that's why I added it. Before I get to the last film, I'm gonna add an honorable mention, and that is the film It Follows. Whenever I first watched It Follows, it completely shocked me. I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did, especially looking at the cover art. It didn't look that entertaining, but I watched it and I was like, oh, this is actually quite nice. It's more psychological horror than anything else. It's not gory. Well, it's not that gory or anything. It's mostly psychological, but I still like that. The female main character isn't super badass or anything. She's very ordinary. She's an ordinary girl. Something insane happens to her and she's just trying to exist while having this struggle. And I still like all the acting, so that's it. It Follows is an honorable mention. The last film on my list, The Ladies of the House. To this day, I don't think I've ever heard anyone talk about this movie, but you know what? I'm gonna talk about it, and I'm gonna force you to listen. Whenever I first watched this movie, immediately I was like, this is one of my favorite movies ever. I was so obsessed with it. I really it got me. As soon as I watched it, it got me. I had to buy it on DVD. It's kind of hard to describe this one very quickly. So there's these three guys who all go to the strip club together. Whenever they're leaving the strip club, they see one of the strippers also leaving. Her name's, I think, Ginger. They see her walking home, so they pretty much decide to follow her, and then whenever they see her about to go into her house, they're like, oh my god, hey, I live in this neighborhood too, we should hang out. At first she's hesitant, but then she decides to invite them in, and they come in, they hang out, everyone's partying, they're pretty chill. One thing leads to another. Ginger feels uncomfortable. She feels like they're trying to hurt her in one way or another, so she takes out a gun and pretty much tells them to get the fuck out of her house and threatens them. And one of the guys also had a gun with him, so he ends up shooting her in retaliation for her taking out her gun. And so Ginger's on the floor dying. All of the guys are arguing about whether or not they should leave or call the police or what they should do. While this is happening, they hear the front door opening and comes home Ginger's roommates, who are a bunch of strippers. Lesbian strippers. When the girls come home and realize that Ginger has been shot, she tells them that the guys are still in the house, because after they shot Ginger, they all hide. So then the girl goes to the front door and locks it, padlocks the door and everything. And the guys realize that they definitely went to the wrong house. They realize that these were not girls to mess with. So the guys in the house are trying to escape, and the girls are trying to hunt them down. And that's everything I want out of a movie. There's lesbians in this movie, there's strippers, and there's murder. Yeah, I love this movie. If you like horror movies, if you're gay, if you like women, you'll probably love this movie. I am biased, and that's okay. But yeah, I mean, this has to be yes. Whenever I want horror movies with female leads, this is what I'm talking about. So those are the movies that I am talking about today and showing off today. Whenever I say that I want horror movies with strong female leads, I want the females to be the villains and the murderers and the psychopaths. That's what I want. Who doesn't want to watch a hot girl killing people? I'm kidding. I'm joking, but I'm serious. I want to see women be the villains and have complex and entertaining characters. And even just have fun personalities. That's what I like to see. If you've seen any of these movies, please let me know. If you love this movie, please shout it in the comments section, because this movie, I guess everyone forgot that this existed or no one's ever seen it. I like it, so I'm always going to talk about it. I think it's a fun movie. But yeah, bye. I guess the video's over.